Six, two, one. What's up, everybody? It is how long since Survivor 42 finale's been? It's been what, a week? Maybe a
84
little
years.
Feels like it was
2
just
weeks.
last night.
Feels like it was just last night with how much tea has been spilled lately on season 42. I can't wait to get into that. But yeah, we are the Survivors, me and Adam, and we also have Survivor Hot Takes, Drew and Emily on to talk about the retrospect, our thoughts on Survivor 42, like who's coming back, what twists are coming back, what we want to maybe have new introduced. It's gonna be epic. It's gonna be lit. It's gonna be a nice conversation. We always have riveting conversations with this group, so I can't wait to get into it. How we all doing?
I'm doing so good. I miss you guys. The first time that we were all together was like at the very start, the 42 premiere, right? And like ever since then, I missed you all so much. It's so exciting.
I know.
I'm doing
I feel
well.
like I've been peeking in on you guys. Like, oh, I wonder what Hot Takes has to say about this topic. So now
you
I
missed
finally
us so
get to get
much,
in
right?
on it. Yes.
All right.
We missed you too.
Before we influence each other's opinions, I think on the count of three, we should all grade the season from 1 to 10 and say our number at the same time, so as not to be conscious of other people's number.
Oh, recency bias is going to affect me.
Okay.
Oh well.
And 10's being the best, right?
10 is like 10 is heroes and villains. 1 is like what? Gabon, Redemption Island. What?
Thailand, yeah.
Whoa, this is a family show, Gideon. Come on, man. Come on. All right.
Okay.
Ready?
Are you
Everyone
ready?
have their number?
I'm pretty sure. Wait,
I have
can
my
we do
number.
0.5s?
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
I'm taking this really. I'm trying to take it
Okay.
seriously. Excuse me.
No, you can do 0.5s. You can do 0.5s.
Okay,
All right,
cool.
Gideon, you look like you were still thinking. You got your number?
I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
8.8.
8.
5. Oh my God. Andrew, do we get the same
Wow.
number?
The two you said the same, and then me and Gideon said the same. That's
Wow, okay.
that's funny.
Are
When
we
you
all
said
in
8,
love? This is
That's
so
crazy.
exciting.
Well, so if you couldn't have done 0.5s, would you have gone 8 or 9?
Ooh.
I would have got 8.
I kind of would have. I think that it might have leaned more towards 9. The only thing that for me that really drew back was like just seeing a lot of the advantages they had in place didn't play out the way they wanted them to, so they kind of fell flat. But I like
Right.
the winter arc story. So that like to me like kind of moved me. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
What about you guys?
Okay. Yeah, I'd say the only things prevent, because I feel like if you're a 5 or up, you kind of got to justify it by what prevented it from being a 10. If you're 5 or down, you kind of got to justify what it needed. And feel like if I could cut off the fat of the season, it would probably be Daniel. No, if I had to cut off the fat of the season, it would probably the first name that popped in my head. It would probably be the twists. Not only the fact that some of them just didn't have an effect on the game, especially the amulet. In my opinion, like I don't think that really affected the game too much.
Right.
And the idol nullifier sounds like
It
had
didn't affect
more.
the game so much that they didn't even show it on TV.
I know.
Yeah, even though some of them are saying in post game interviews that when they found that out, that affected Omar's going home. So you would think that it sounds like that actually had more of an impact on the game than the amulet, which they showed the amulet. I feel like it was mentioned post merge. I feel like it was mentioned at least twice every episode. So I was
Right.
like, it's got to be important.
And I think that it's honestly like just because of like the draw of a brand new advantage, and we all like ate that shit up. We were living for that advantage, you know. But I think that because we've already seen the nullifier been done so many times, they just found a way to kind of trim it the way they could, you know.
And we've seen the nullifier played successfully twice.
Right.
I want to say. And
so twice.
37 and 39. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Right.
Yep.
And so 42, it's like, all right, unless it gets played or even get played successfully, we'll save it for the after party. Which is unfortunate because that is a twist that I actually enjoy, but I also understand not showing it if it didn't have any impact on it. But like what you said, it seems like that played a big part in Omer's ultimate demise.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Right. Yeah, and then the knowledge is power. It obviously didn't have an impact in the sense that it didn't like change anything, but I do think the moment of her saying it and Mike being like, "Nah, bro, I ain't got it." That to me was a great moment and worth showing. So even though it didn't have an impact on the game, I still am glad that was included because that was such a great moment.
Right.
Other than that, though, like Rocksroy's hourglass, like who ended up going home because of that? Was that Lydia?
It was. I mean, I'm devastated about it. I'm still in mourning. I'm so upset.
Yeah, right. But do we think she would have gotten that much further had the hourglass not, or is there a good chance she would have just gone home next week?
No, I feel like she would have ended up in a Romeo type situation.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
This is my first of many times saying that I'm not shitting on Romeo because I really like Romeo in the season.
Yeah.
But I feel like she would have been one of those people that's like, like as the casual audience, I would say they would say, what is she? How's she still there? Blah blah blah. But I feel like Lydia would have found her footing, especially if she was still working with High in that situation.
Right. And we also don't know like a lot about like what her character arc like really was. I mean, even if we take like 41, for example, like we really didn't see Erica too much until they got to the merge, so who's to say like what her game was really like to get her in such a solid place where she was able to make it to the merge in general. Does that make sense?
Right.
I think she could have made it. And she's so funny on Twitter. Like who couldn't love her in real life? She's so funny.
Right.
And relatable.
Right. She's to me, she's like the Tiffany of this season in the sense that like watching the show, because Tiffany wasn't like the Ricard was the de facto winner pick last season, preseason.
Right.
But a lot of people were pretty high on Tiffany. And then when the season came out, it was just like, oh, okay, we were wrong. And then when the season ended and Tiffany started being like a social media goddess, it was like, oh, where was this? Where was this super fun? And she's even 20 times better in person too. It just was just an unbelievable. So easy. So, some people, it's like it takes a while to be like, oh, that's why you were casted. Tiffany can just say one word and you're like, that's why you were on the show. Mm-hmm. I feel like Lydia is that for this season. She's like the kind of like a ghosted edit, but on Twitter and Instagram is just
iconic.
Super fun.
She's
iconic,
so
yeah.
Did we think like just based on how they edited her in the first place that she would be invited to return? I know that I'm kind of jumping the gun, but just out of curiosity while we're on the subject, no.
I would like it. I would be cool with it if she returned. I would be like, it would be a pleasant surprise, as they say. But I would be surprised nonetheless.
Right.
So, but back to I'd say 8 out of 10. Definitely advantages holding it back, but I feel like there really wasn't too many dead spaces. Like there was some episodes that dipped. I mean, no season is just a constant uprise, except maybe like Heroes and Villains, even though that kind of slows down a little bit when it gets to like final.
And All Stars, right, Andrew?
We're not doing that. We're not doing that right now.
This isn't the podcast for that, man. This isn't. We aren't doing that today.
It can be.
No, let's not turn it into that.
Absolutely.
No.
I messed up. I'm sorry.
I don't have the mental capacity to argue with Drew right now about All Stars. Okay.
Oh, are you Team Pro All Stars too, Gideon?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Look at us.
We did a tier rank before season.
We did a tier rank, and Drew could not believe how high we put All Stars. He was in disbelief.
We both put it an A. We both gave it an A. Drew just jaw hit the ground. He's like, I was debating C.
He's like, it's a D. It's a D season, man. You're crazy.
Well, I can't believe he's dead to me.
Yeah. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah. So it didn't feel like, but it didn't feel like there was any filler with this season. I don't know. I think it might have just been like advantages in like there really wasn't I mean, no cast is going to be perfect. Like it's never going to be 18 amazing, ready for TV people. Like you're always going to have at least 3 or 4 people that just may have been great in casting, but for whatever reason, their personalities just didn't show on TV. Like Jenny this season, or like Mariah, who I'm sure, and I've seen on social media, are just like really cool, great people. But just when it comes to TV, it just for whatever reason their personalities just didn't shine. But yeah, I'd say I'd say 8 is my thing. What about you, Gideon? You said 8 as well.
I said 8 as well. Yeah, I think Do or Die has to go. I think the Hourglass. I don't know how you could do the Hourglass again, but it has to go. There's no way they're gonna bring that back. Yeah, I would say don't bring it back, but then like I don't know how you could even pull off the Hourglass again if people know what it is beforehand. And then like I don't know. Blue Tribe didn't have the most interesting pre-merge in my opinion, and then also a lot of questions around the first episode with Jackson. It'll be interesting to hear that get answered when we interview Jackson soon.
Are you doing that?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to hear some of those questions answered, and so that kind of got the season started off on a weird point. Like I didn't really know where we would go from there, but overall I thought it was great.
Over kind of quick.
Yeah, it happened really fast. I felt like I was getting whiplash from that. I was like, whoa, like, I can't believe we just skipped over that like that, but okay. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a good season. Great winner. The finale was a little predictable, but overall, I thought it was great.
I kind of feel the same way. Like I think that like by the end, all the stars were aligning for Marianne and Marianne only. But but a lot of other viewers could really argue at least that like Mike was a great option as a winner, and I feel like they edited some of his flaws a little bit more like profoundly, like some of his different mistakes. But like with Marianne, like they didn't really focus on those, especially post merge. So like that to me, like kind of made it a lot more obvious, you know?
Right.
Yeah, for me, the finale. I mean, if we were to do, I don't know, what is the finale that everyone holds in high acclaim? That
Winners at War,
China. Winners at War. Yeah,
I would put both of those up there as compared to the Australian Outback, which I love the winner and all of that, but the finale is horrible. I would definitely put it up here, mainly because yes, no matter how predictable it was, it's almost like watching. It's almost like watching a sporting event where like you're rooting for the favorite and the favorite wins, but there's a lot of points in the game where you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're going to blow it and actually lose. That's how I felt watching the finale, where it's like, not to say that Marianne was the favorite, but it was more like the person that I'm pulling for in the finale is probably going to win, but there are these moments that like try to tease you into thinking, nope, this is what's actually going to happen. And then, especially like the last point that I thought maybe this won't happen was the first mic vote at the final tribal. I'm like, oh God, what is this? But then in my head, it kind of clicked. That was Jonathan's vote. It had to have been Jonathan's vote. It's nobody else's vote. And then everyone else's votes come out afterwards. It's like, okay, yes, let's go. As everyone saw the video. Let's go. But yeah, I think that I thought the finale was amazing, no matter how predictable.
Right. Did anyone come into the finale thinking like was Marianne everyone's pick coming into the finale?
Yeah, she was my pick for a little while. like I was pretty confident that she was going to be the winner. Mike was my winner pick at the start, and then someone on Facebook posted that Marianne was going to win, and I didn't know how much I was going to believe that at the start, so I was just going to take it with a grain of salt. But I don't know, someone leaked the winner. Anyway, in conclusion, I have to completely leave Facebook forever. But I guess like it was pretty obvious at the end, you know.
Right. Yeah, I managed to. It was weird. For 41, it didn't seem like there was a boot list. It like got leaked. I remember like I heard one did get leaked that had gotten the first like 3 or 4 right, and then just was totally wrong because I think that list that everyone knows had Tiffany winning, and then when she went home, it was like, okay, obviously this isn't true. I did hear that there was a 42 leak that was 100% true. That made its way around Reddit and Survivor Twitter a little bit. So thankfully managed to avoid that. The only like spoiler I heard was, I won't say who, but someone from season 41 told me that they had heard from the winner that the winner had told them that they had won before it had aired. So the whole season I was thinking like, who on this cast would be like would do that? Would be
hanging out with this person.
Well, that too. But I was trying to think of like who, and then like as the season went on, I was like, oh man, it could be. I could see Daniel doing it. I could see Marianne. I could see Romeo. I could see, and then it started to, people started getting eliminated, and then you could tell that like Romeo wasn't going to win. That like Jonathan wasn't going to win, and by the end, I was like, wow, it could be Lindsay, Mike, or Marianne.
Yeah.
So,
and that's what makes such a great season, though, too. Like we talked about how like they made such great arguments for like I would say like at least 10 out of the 18 people, especially like as the entire season progressed, which was so different than what we saw in 41. So I was just down for it. I thought it was great.
Right. Let me share one thing with you guys.
Ooh.
So Gideon and I did a fantasy draft.
Why do you keep showing this?
At the beginning of the season, came down to the wire there. Gideon had a very strong start because I had I had Jenny, I had Jackson, I had Zach. So I wasn't looking good at the beginning.
We get it.
But had the final 3. Gideon, any comments on our fantasy game?
I'm just happy it was a good season, man. I wanted it to be a good season. I don't care about fantasy teams.
You killed it. Good job. You guys both did a great job. Just because you tried, you did awesome.
It was close. Like we did points. We did points this year, and what we did was like we each started with 126, and what we did was whoever got eliminated that week, whatever place they finished, you took that number. So if they finished 14th, you would subtract 14 from your score. So the better a person placed, the least you would subtract from your score. So it was like I started off losing, and then like it balanced out, and then like for the next like every week post merge, it was like we would come into a recap, so like I was winning, and the next week Gideon. It was just back and forth like the whole time. But then it got to the point. Well, when it got to the point that Drea went home, it was pretty much like I think the only way for Gideon to have won was like what? It was like
Jonathan won. It would have been for Jonathan to win, right?
Jonathan or Lindsay would have had to win.
Right.
Yeah.
Andrew and I also had a sorry, go ahead.
Well, and then like Lindsay, because Jonathan wasn't going to win. So Lindsay would have had to win. I think Jonathan would have had to come in at least third. He could second or third was the only way he would have won. So you said you and Drew had a game too?
We did. So I actually, I have a fantasy league. So if anyone listening, if you ever want to do fantasy stuff and like you're ever curious, the website I always use is called fantasysurvivorgame.com. And basically what happens is that you make a winner pick and then you have like 2 power players. And like those 2 power players are people who like, if they do different things, they earn you certain amounts of points. So it can be like if they win a challenge, if they get an advantage, if they make fire, like the rules are all like explicitly listed. I just want to show you. So there were 10 people who played with us. Okay, in case you're curious, Andrew is here and he's number 9. Guess who's number 1, y'all? Want to take a guess?
Hey,
it's me. That's what's up, y'all. I won, and I beat Andrew to the bone. I crushed it. You want to know who my players were?
My winner pick was Chanel. My winner pick was Chanel, and I have my power players as like Jackson and Chanel. So,
I warned you.
I mean, I was kind of screwed from the first episode.
It's
question:
so fun, though.
Who was the of us 4? Who was the happiest or most satisfied with the winner?
Oh, I wonder.
What kind of crazy question is it? Follow me, Andrew Denton, on Facebook, Chosen10515 on Instagram, and the Click on Twitter to find out who was the most excited about the win.
Well, here.
Let's go.
This is immediately after Marianne was announced the winner by Jeff Probst. So let's make it a little bigger. What do we got? We got some orange infused Jameson. Yes, beautiful. All right, great stuff.
The most heartwarming video I've ever seen.
All right.
Who did you watch it with, Drew?
A few of my players had just recently graduated. They're like, let's have a survivor party the day before we all go off to our jobs. So I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. And it was amazing. None of them had any idea what was going on, but.
So you're just bawling on the couch, and they're like, "Oh, okay."
It's all right. Yes, it's fine. And then y'all called me right afterwards, and I was like, "Yes, I'm good."
I know. As soon as Marianne won, I was like, "We have to call Coach Drew. We have to." Man.
Yeah, absolutely. I was Drew. I remember you saying Chanel. It's interesting. I feel like Chanel was this season's. I think I mentioned this earlier. Was like kind of like this season's Ricard, and that she was most people's preseason. I feel like she was the biggest preseason winner pick. I mean, even when we had
she was mine.
Yeah, even when we had our round table that we do every year here on the channel with Peridium and Idled Out and the Survivor Specialists and you guys and all of us.
Phil called us out and was like, I feel like Chanel's going to be like a pre-merge boot and everything. And he wasn't that far off from it. But
yeah. Do you remember who Phil said was going to win?
I think he said like Drea or Mike Turner. I want to say he said like Drea or Mike Turner.
I think he said Drea.
I think he said, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he said Drea. I said Marianne. I don't think there was ever any question Marianne was going to win. I think
no question
from the get-go, but even when the leaks I said Romeo and Marianne were like my male-female winner pick, but I did say Romeo during that round table. So
did you?
Third place.
That's awesome.
I think I did. He was my first pick in our fantasy draft. So
yeah.
Well, he came in like so cutthroat at the start too. So like I thought that like he really established such a strong presence. I wonder if he'll come back too.
Ooh,
he's not on.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I
he's
do
not
feel
on my list.
I do feel like this season is going to be similar to like Kagayan in that it like not only was a great newbie season, but like I feel like a lot of people had a chance to shine. Like 41, I feel like would lean more towards one of those newbie seasons where it's like, oh, I feel like if that person just got a little bit further, they would have had such a better edit. Or I feel like that person deserved a better edit. There was no one this season who I felt was like under edited that like had a really good like long-term game. So I feel like this season is just had a lot of. I feel like it was balanced with the edit, and I feel like we're going to get a decent amount of returnees. I feel like at least 4 from this season.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. That's exactly where my number is. 4.
Mm-hmm.
4? Who's your 4, Drew?
I thought we were saving this for later on the show, but yeah. I would say, unless they do like a winter season, I don't feel like Marianne would be on that list, but I would say that Drea, Hai, Omer, and Jenny. Like,
wait.
I
Say
feel
that
like Jenny
again?
would be the Kelly Wentworth of whatever returning season that she came back for, because she had what's up?
Oh wait, Drea, Hai, Omer, and Jenny.
Yes.
And this is who you want to see, or this is your prediction?
Well, I guess who I want to see. My prediction is Jonathan, and then a whole bunch of other people, because I feel like they're very high on Jonathan, and Jonathan's definitely coming back. We'll probably get Jonathan about 3 more times if we're being honest. But if I just want to go on based off my opinion about how they've done things in the past, I feel like those 4 I would want, but like Jonathan's definitely number 1 as far as who they are absolutely having back, unless they just ship him off to the actual challenge and just have him do that.
I think he would too. I'm actually surprised. I might disagree. I would predict Jonathan's in like the one of the 2 or 3 most unlikely to return. If I had to predict, because I just feel like, I mean, it wasn't like a unanimous everybody hated him, but I feel like he was the most, like, had the most hate towards him this season, or like the most flack, or the most negative response. And even though it wasn't across the board, it was very polarizingly split. I feel like, especially in modern Survivor, I feel like the casting people, when it comes to returning, are paying extra attention nowadays to like fan social media response. And also, I think Jonathan is like done. Like, if you, Gideon, weren't you pointing out, like, what did he say on his Instagram that one time?
He was like, hey y'all, ask me some questions. Nothing related to Survivor. I don't want to talk about Survivor. It was interesting. It was like, maybe he is receiving the hate DMs. I don't know.
That's super interesting though, because like, unfortunately, I have a Facebook, and like the Facebook moms, they eat him up. Every single post that I see is like a Jonathan thirst trap post, you know? And I feel like he is a very polarizing, I guess, but like he is like a very, very polarizing character, which is why I feel like they would want to bring him back in, if that makes sense.
Maybe, I don't know.
You're gonna either root for him or root against him.
I mean, if you're Survivor and you're looking at your actual stats, which I guess only they have access to, where you can see demographics of people who watch you, then there probably is split about half and half, and the half that doesn't like Jonathan is probably mostly on Twitter and Instagram, and the half that does like them is probably the old heads on Facebook. It's like, are you willing to take that risk and bring somebody back that has created such a stir on social media? I'm not sure. Do you think that would lose viewership? I don't know.
That's tough.
That's just things you have to consider if you're Survivor. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's coming back.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think I agree with Drew. I think he's gonna come back.
If this was like pre-season 20, I feel like it would be unanimous. Like, I don't think there'd be any question about it. I feel like it's just the fact that I think Survivor's trying to really have like a progressive, clean image at the moment. I feel like Jonathan just didn't portray that.
Yeah,
didn't portray that this season. And I think it's kind of like the thing with Hatch.
Yeah. Adam,
what's up?
He says Mr. Jeff. He's
you're
polite.
Right. He's back. Yeah.
He's got manners. Yeah.
He's locked. No, he's like, I mean, even look at like Hatch. If you would have told me 5 years ago they would do a Winners at War season and Hatch wouldn't be on it, I would have thought you were absolutely crazy. But just because of the fact that of the stuff that happened with All Stars, which according to him
and Island of the Idols.
Well, yeah, because of what just happened on Island of the Idols, he was disinvited. So clearly they're willing to sacrifice. Huh?
What happened on All Stars? What happened on All Stars?
You have to watch it. Okay, bye, Andrew.
No, so clearly Survivor is willing to cut fan favorites if they think that it could affect the image of the show. And that's why I think that's why if I had to put money on it, I would say no for Jonathan. And even if they would look past that, I think the other wall is that I just don't think he would want to. Like, since the season started, except for him posting the occasional like Survivor pic that makes him look all buff, or him with Mike, other than that, he's really avoided all talk of Survivor on social media. And
he did his contractual interview. He did his contractual interview that he had to do, like, with Rap, but that was it. Like, he doesn't want to talk Survivor. And usually if you want to go back on Survivor, you try to stay in touch with the fan base. So, you know, they ask you back, because that is a thing that happens. You know, it's important.
Well, didn't he and Drea hang out recently? Like, they both posted something on Instagram, and it looked like it was like kind of like an effort of unity or something like that, to kind of help to alleviate the tension between both sides. So I think that, like, to me, I feel like it would be something like where he's trying to like mend the pathways to kind of help get back on the show. I feel like he wouldn't be posting stuff like that unless he was either trying to clear his name or if he was trying to get back on.
Thanks for the super chat, Stuart. Do my best Mike impression.
Gideon.
Let's do Gideon.
Southern
Gideon's
accent.
good impression.
Yeah. Your impression of a Jersey accent.
Adam. I'm gonna give you this idol. And I give you my word. I give you my word. I'm not gonna let you down. But Mike, you said you wouldn't save me. Not if I'm safe. There you go.
Say my word is my bond.
My word is my bond.
It's perfect.
There's such beautiful grace in the game of soccer. It makes a man cry.
Love it.
Chef's kiss.
Love it. No, not even. Okay.
You tried.
Wrong Mike, Gideon. Wrong Mike.
It sounded more like Danny Zuko to me, and I feel like Gideon would understand that reference. But
I understand that, and listen, in my resume, I do not have New Jersey accent listed, okay? I only have New York. That's it.
Are we going to the shore? We going to AC? Huh? What do you think?
Wow.
I feel like you could totally guest star on Jersey Shore. I feel it.
Yeah, that's what my Jersey impressions is, just PJ Pauly D. And
that's
like
all
the
you
situation.
need. It's all you need. That's
even though neither are from Jersey.
That's okay. They're from what? Staten Island, right?
Well, Pauly D was from Rhode Island.
Oh, not the
Rhode Island. I'm from up there in that little state that no one ever visits. The only people that go there are the ones that drive past it because they're going to Boston. You know what I'm saying? All right. I mean, I gotta go clean my turntables. Give me a moment.
There's a reason. There's a reason Adam is behind the camera.
What are you trying to say?
No, I thought that was a great accent.
Yeah, I bet you couldn't play that guitar behind you.
Boom, roasted.
We're not gonna bring that. We're not gonna bring that. Oh, okay. You're a guitarist.
Emily, if you had to predict four most likely to return, who would you pick?
I definitely want
four most likely, and then like your personal like one.
Okay. So Mike, I think, is a shoo-in. I think that Mike is well loved by everyone. I think that he's been saying that he's ready to get back out there, especially if he did like a second chance for like second place, people. I think that'd be super cool. Drea, absolutely. Especially because we saw like a lot more of her like playful side right when she got voted out. I feel like we didn't see that at all until after. And I feel like she has a lot more depth and a lot more layers. So I want to see more of that.
Yeah, like being two-faced.
We love her. Next, I would say, I would say like Omar, maybe, but like, I feel like he has a good chance of coming back because he's so well loved, especially by so many different people for his gameplay. But I feel like it would be really hard for him to be able to start with a slate where he could work with other people, because I feel like people wouldn't be able to trust him as much. So many options. I would say like maybe like I would love to see High again, especially now that he's been burnt a little bit by the alliance that he trusted so much. I think that would definitely keep him on his toes a little bit more. And that would kind of help to shape for a more holistic game, maybe. And of course, y'all already know who I would love to see as a personal pick is Lydia. We talked about that a little bit more, but I think that y'all, if y'all don't follow her on Twitter, like, what are you doing? She is a queen. And
what's her Twitter handle?
Lydia Chlamydia.
But she's so funny, and like even based on how she talked to on Rob Has a Podcast, like you saw a lot more of her personality. I just feel like the edit didn't really capture that. You know what I mean? So I would love to see like her and her holistic view. She would kill it.
So she was your personal one?
Yeah. Okay. She's just so stinking sweet.
My personal one is Lydia Committee as well, but that's because
get out of here. That's my answer. Get out of here.
Like that's not really like if we're doing personal. It's her and Lindsay, but
Lindsay. Right. Oh wait. Oh, okay. No, I'm just gonna stick with what I said. I just love Lydia. I feel like I need to see more of her. You know.
Right. Gideon, who's your 4 most likely and 1 personal?
I'd say, Mike. I'd say Tori. I think she popped off the screen well, and I would like to see her get in there and, do good from the start, not make the mistake of burning herself at the start. Omer, definitely would love to see him back, and the 4th is always tough. If it's not Marianne, because I'd obviously love to see Marianne back, but somebody that didn't win,
you could say Marianne.
Okay, then I'll say Marianne, because I want to see Marianne again. And then personal, I'd say Daniel.
Of course.
Why?
Because we've been robbed of Daniel time. He was gone too soon.
Was he?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he was.
Okay.
Yeah. He was a victim of circumstance and circumstance alone.
His circumstance was himself, right?
Yeah.
If he learns to not self-sabotage, even you know what? I would like to see him self-sabotage again. It's entertaining.
He does it the right way. Yeah. I mean, it's not like he was or anything. He actually made it pretty far relatively.
There was a point in the game I thought he was gonna win.
No.
I did too.
When he announced that there's no way I'm going to win this game or whatever it was. It's like, well, there you go. Yeah. We don't even have to worry about this dude anymore.
He did so well at the start because, like, didn't he Mike told him about the idol and he was like, well, I can use it. And like, I read the fine print. Like, that's whenever I was like totally sold on him. And then Tribal Council started and he opened his mouth and I said, this is over. Like, this is like game over, honestly.
Yeah.
No, we gave him MVP for a week. And our MVPs are very
exclusive.
Very, very exclusive and very okay, my 4 might be actually the exact same as Gideon's. I forget which 4 you said, but I would say to me Marianne is an absolute shoo-in, and not even for like having to wait for a winter season. I do think that, and this is based off of nothing but instinct, I do feel like the current era that we're in now, Survivor is going to be more hesitant to bring back winners, except for winners like seasons, or maybe we can even get like a winners versus runner-ups, or a winners versus fan favorites, or winners versus legends type of season. But like, I mean, how many times did winners return pre-40? I mean, almost everybody on the season 40 cast this was not their second time playing. It was only a few. I mean, Ethan came back, Rob came back at least 7 times. Tony came back.
I hope he comes back again too. Yep.
Oh gosh. But I still think there's no way we never. If there's just no way. I think Marianne's absolutely coming back. To me, Omer's for sure. I just think everyone loved him. I think he was like probably the biggest like of the season. You know, like if just one more move or one little tweak, and not only could he have won, but he could have probably gone down as like a top 10 winner. Honestly, if at the pace he was at, if Marianne didn't win. I think Drea, the only hesitation I have for Drea is if she would want to, and I only say that because she has a lot going on. Like if you guys follow her on social media, like she is always doing projects, and like I think she's like a fitness trainer, but she's like always doing videos and making content. I think she has like almost 1 million followers already.
It's quite
like a fourth of what you have, Gideon. So really,
I was like Gideon actually typed on his laptop, like, "Oh yeah, that's quite a bit, huh? Yeah, all right, whatever."
800,000, huh? I had that when I was 16. Anyway, and then the fourth one is to me is between Hai and Tori. I feel like Tori is the type of person that like to me she is just like the prime example of someone who like didn't go super far but would probably come back. Hai was on such a hot streak and then just fizzled out like really, really quickly. But like honestly, like I could see Lydia coming back. I could see Lindsay. I could see I mean if there's one pre-merge person, it could be
Zach.
No, it'd probably be Jenny.
Probably be Jenny, yeah.
But if it's like and then like Mike, I could see, but like I wouldn't put Mike in my 4, just probably because of age, and also I know that since Survivor has come off, he's gotten married, and I know he had kids. I can't remember if he like has more kids because I think like the wife that he got married to had kids already, or I can't remember, but
he has kids too because like they feature them in that Loved Ones episode. He was like, "Oh, that's my daughter."
Love it. Daughter.
My daughter.
Yeah.
My son.
Show how to make fire. Why did he turn into Don Corleone for a second there, Gideon? He's my son. He's gonna take over the Turner family. He's gonna be the new boss of the Turner crime family. Is that a peach?
You come to my daughter's birthday and you ask for me a favor.
Hearing Drew's laugh while the camera down was funny. Just know. If I had to, there we go. But if I had a personal one, I mean, honestly, it'd probably be Marianne. I mean, she was my favorite of the season. But if I'm gonna pick a personal that wasn't in my 4, I'd probably do Mike, followed very closely by Lindsay, because I really enjoyed Lindsay.
So none of us said Jonathan.
Well, he's obvious. No, Drew said Jonathan.
I mean, he's not who I would want back, but it's the type of like that's the archetype that CBS always brings back. Always. This is not a sometimes. The only person that doesn't fit the archetype that they didn't bring back was Mike Holloway, and he basically had to do it out of necessity. Like, it's not like he was a challenge beast because he had to be a challenge beast. Or no, because he was a challenge beast. It was because he had to be a challenge beast or he was going home. But every other challenge beast that they've had, challenge beast pre-merge, that they've had come back, has been, they brought all of them back. I'm trying to think of, I could be missing someone, but I don't think that I am. And the crazy part is the people that hype him up as being this merge challenge beast, he tied, I think, with 2 other people at the merge, right? Unless I'm mistaken. He tied with Tori and Lindsay, right?
I think so. How many did Jonathan win? Was it just 2?
I think Lindsay and Tori both had 2 as well.
Yeah, they did.
And Romeo had 1.
And Romeo had 1, so...
Never forget Jonathan being dethroned by Romeo.
Great, arguably the best team challenge competitor ever, though.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
That
Like
water
pre-merge.
challenge, that water challenge blew my mind. I think that was the one I was on board with Team Jonathan for a while there, because
Well, it was not only did he like do everything himself, but wasn't that also the challenge that Jeff had to like stop?
Yeah,
because the other two tribes
Yes.
like not only they couldn't even get to the second half of the challenge.
Yeah, only 4 people were able to finish that challenge out of 12, and maybe it was more than 12. Like, I don't know, but only 4 people were able to finish it all together, and it was because Jonathan was literally carried 3 of them on their back, But he fizzled out, I mean, and like that's I couldn't imagine, especially he's mentioned a few times how many eggs he eats a day, like how hard it would be for him to basically implode, once we get to that merge.
How many did you say?
Out of
18.
Out of all the unnecessary knowledge that I know about Survivor, I will never forget that he eats 18 eggs every single day. I'll never forget it.
That his dad abuses him? Yes. Or abused him? Yes. I'll always remember that.
I completely forgot about that.
And he was on endurance.
Yeah.
My
dad woke me up when I was 3 years old, made me climb a mountain, do pull-ups and all this other stuff. It's like, all right, cool. Sounds like your dad abused you, but whatever. Like, let's just put it on TV. It's fine.
Well, he said
I'll never forget about Rockroy's nagging wife either.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we graded the season as a season, but how you pushed a button there, Gideon.
No,
that one hit. Nice. How? Yeah. Let's all take it. How would you guys grade Marianne as a winner?
Do we all say it at the same time again?
Oh, let's do that. That was cute.
Okay, scale of what? 1 to tier or 1 to 10?
We'll do 1 to 10.
We'll tier rank later, Adam. That's a different video.
Yes.
Bet.
I can't wait to watch that one.
We will block Drew out of the chat so we will not be influenced when we grade Marianne and Vesepia. Gosh.
Hey, I gave Vesepia a B.
You're the person A though, so like. I'm stuck with it. I'm sorry.
You're lucky I didn't give it an S.
I don't get those.
You're lucky I didn't give it an S.
Yeah.
All right, Marianne as a winner. Ready? Scale of 1 to 10. 3, 2, 1.
6.
9.
Oh.
Wait.
I mean, Drew said 7.
Drew, you said 7. I said 9. I just really liked her journey. Yeah, I really like. I'm a weirdo, so I just appreciate seeing another weirdo make it to the end. It's hard for us.
As a wife,
Gideon 6.
It's hard out here for a pimp.
I was like, do I do 7 or 6? But I was like, 6, because I'm like, I don't know, maybe. Yeah,
Gideon,
I'll stand by the 6.
How dare you? How dare you? Why do you feel 6?
Why do you?
Well, I don't hate women. I don't hate women.
Me.
Don't hate women. Don't get me wrong. I think she made a great move taking out Omer. And I think she did a great job using Romeo as the vote and using her extra votes. I think all that was great. I think the social gameplay was a little sloppy at the start. I think she was in a really bad position. I think she was in a really bad position at the pre-merge because for some reason, everybody got together and decided that Marianne and Romeo were on the outs. I don't know how that happened. I would love to talk to Marianne about that in an interview about how that happened because that's something that is a big hole for me that I really want to get answered because I always wondered why did everyone just decide Romeo and Marianne were on the outs? I don't know. And then also I feel like, she did a great job at the end in Final Tribal, but I also felt like it was a lot of Mike stabbing himself and shooting himself in the foot there at the end, too. But I still think she rightfully won, and I still think she's a very deserving winner. I think she's better than Erica. But I wouldn't put her at, like, B to A tier, even though we're not ranking. I just think she's above average, of course, but I don't think she's like, whoa, blew my mind out. Because for me, a 7 is a really good winner.
So, like, can I ask you a follow-up question?
What?
Okay, here I come. So like in your mind, like who would be like a 10 out of 10 winner? Like out of all of the survivors that we had out of 42.
Oh gosh.
Bob Crowley.
It would have to be either Kim Spradlin for a newbie, or like just overall the best game I've seen. Maybe Tony Winners at War.
Yeah.
That would have to be a 10.
And I have Tony, Kim, Rob. As far as like no matter what the cast is, it's just like
Rob won.
I don't know what you're doing here, so I'm going to leave it alone.
I'm trying to block that season from my memory.
Okay, I don't know what's happening here, but we're going to keep on.
You guys hate Redemption Island too? Get out of here!
No, I love Redemption Island. Yeah, he hates it though.
The first ever episode of Hot Takes is Gideon talking about Redemption Island. So never forget. But I would say that it goes Tony, Kim, Rob as far as winners. Like taking all types of casts or whatever out of the equation, just as far as what we were seeing, and I would say that Marianne would be in the, I would say, top 25-ish, top 22-ish.
Yeah,
yeah. I don't disagree.
Yeah, I would definitely put her up there.
Maybe my rankings are just weirder than y'all's.
Well, no, I think what really puts the cherry on top is. Much like, and I don't know which one of the two of you tweeted this out, but like top 5 all-time Final Tribal performances. I think that's what puts her towards the top is that tribal, because it's the same thing with Chris Doherty and same thing with Todd, where it's like, yeah, they were good, but that Final Tribal performance was amazing.
It's what made them great. Yeah,
it was great.
In her case, like that's top tier. That's S tier if you want to tier rank that. That's S tier as far as she did exactly everything that she needed to do, and she outspoke the other two people who were also putting on pretty good performances. It's not like she went up there against people that were not talking well. Romeo and Mike both, like, especially when Mike caught on to the fact that the jury wasn't believing his whole like loyalty and everything, and when he caught on to that and acknowledged it, I think that's what potentially could have won a couple of them over if he was going against someone that wasn't Marianne. And I feel like Romeo's story, just in general, really appealed to a lot of people. So,
yeah,
absolutely. Adam, who were yours, or what did you rank it? I missed it.
No, I said 7. The same as Drew. I said 7. I think the biggest thing not holding Marianne back, but holding our perception of her victory back is the lack of like big splash moves, especially compared to like recent winners like Tony. I mean, I guess Tommy didn't really have any big splash moves, but like his social game was just so like the edit of that season was centered around Tommy's social game. Like that's what that season was about. And
amongst
like with Mary,
there's
like a final 6 thing. Marianne kind of like dipped into the background like mid-merge for like 2 episodes.
It was frustrating.
Yeah. And I think there was 2 things. One is to make her victory really seem like an underdog come from behind victory. And 2 is because during the 2 episodes where Marianne took like a back seat, Omer took like a full steam ahead seat. So when he got blindsided, not only was it so like catching the audience off guard, but it made Marianne look that even better when the way they edited it made it look like she was the one behind it. And I only say that because Jonathan said it was his idea. It's not what the edit showed.
Oh my gosh. Don't stop. Stop.
Yeah. It's not what the edit showed, but I'll throw it out there because it was mentioned. And the edit mentioned his mention, but didn't mention his mention when it was originally mentioned by Marianne. Yeah. Facts. You can fact check that if you don't believe me. But that's really the only thing I think holding Marianne back. And then her like early game was she was often like Should we vote her out just because she's annoying? Like that came up in the early end, but it didn't happen. However, if Taku would have lost one more challenge pre-merge, would Marianne have gone home? I think so.
I think so.
Until she had her idol, yes.
Mm-hmm. But I think that also is what makes her story like so much more explosive, I guess. Yeah, because I mean, her name and like one part of my fantasy survivor game is like we have to like predict who's gonna be voted out every single week. So like I would say like the majority of the time I had at least 2 or 3 votes on Marianne because it just seemed like her name just kept coming up, and to me it didn't seem like a whole winners at it until we finally got to that end. But I just thought that it was so good how they were able to piece all that all together.
Right. Yeah. Well, cool. I guess we're gonna start wrapping this review up. Does anyone have just like we could each have just like our final thoughts, or what is it? Jerry's words. What do they do at the end of Jerry Springer? Jerry's final thoughts. Yeah. What's our Jerry's final thoughts?
Something else.
No. Talking about the Jerry Springer show here, Drew.
Yeah. Oh, I know what you're talking about now, but I thought you were talking about something else. Before we went live, I was going on a rant about something, and I can't remember what it was.
I remember.
What was it?
You were going to compare Jonathan to Rupert.
Yes. Okay. So Jonathan and Rupert. I feel like Jonathan is this generation's Rupert. The only problem is that Rupert happened in 2002-ish. So everyone loves this. Everyone. I was alive. I think all of y'all, I think the oldest person here besides me is Emily, maybe. And everyone loved Rupert. They put aside any faults that he could potentially have. I think the problem was when Rupert fatigue started to kick in, a lot of that Rupert fatigue was things that he had always done, but people had kind of turned their brains off to. But by the time Heroes vs. Villains and Blood vs. Water happened, it's like, wow, this guy's kind of annoying. I think it's the same thing with Jonathan, where it's like now in 2022, people are just a lot more what's the word? Negative. Oh, that too. And they immediately, like, instead of him being universally loved, it's like the hardcore fans, for the most part, not a fan, but the casuals love. Back in the day, Rupert was hardcore and casuals both loved him because he was a physical specimen. He was great for the camera. He was very polite, all this other stuff. Jonathan, same way, at face value, he was very polite, physical specimen, all that. But when you look at it, he didn't win, that many immunities, by comparison during the merge. Rupert, I believe, won 1 during Pearl Islands and 0, I want to say, during All-Stars. Rupert had his moments during Pearl Islands and All-Stars, specifically Pearl Islands, probably trying to kill Johnny Fairplay after the 1 vote. And then
Who voted for me?
Yeah, who the hell voted for me?
Iconic.
And then All-Stars not listening to Jerry with how to build their shelter. Jonathan, it's just anytime he didn't listen to Lindsay. And then there's also the Jeff Probst loves this person, but it seems like a lot of the other people don't. Rupert, especially if you look at All-Stars, it doesn't seem like a lot of people actually enjoy Rupert, especially during the America's Favorite portion. It doesn't seem like a lot of people like Rupert that have played with him. And Jonathan's the same thing, where it's like, it doesn't seem like a lot of people liked him for the most part. Like they dealt with him, but it doesn't seem like they really liked him, as on a personal level. So I feel like, I know I started off hot, but like I feel like that makes sense, right?
No, that makes perfect sense. I didn't see it at all, just because I always just associate Rupert with tie-dye and a beard, but like that definitely rings really true, especially just because of like this. They have very, very similar personality traits.
Right. Gideon, any final thoughts on the season?
I thought it was a great season. I really hope 43 is good, because it just seems like the trend is always good season, bad season, good season, bad season, unless it's 38 and 39, which is just bad. But I really hope that really hope that casting continues in the way it's going, because I really like who they've been casting recently. Even in 41, despite all of the faults it had, I still felt like the cast was good. I think it was even better in 42. I hope that we get a lot of people back. I hope it's more than 4 that we get back from 42. And yeah, I was absolutely overjoyed with this season, and this season allowed me to share Survivor with my college friends, because a lot of them were able to get into it, and I couldn't do that with 41 because they were getting bored with it. So I was really thankful for 42 for that.
That's beautiful.
Well said.
That is so beautiful. And a little tear. I'm gonna nominate myself. I'll talk now. I thought that 42 was fabulous. I really enjoyed just all the character development. They did a much better job with that, but I think that they also really listened to what a lot of the commentary was with 41, where they didn't really give an equal edit to enough people where we could root for so many. So that was beautiful. I do think that hopefully they also follow that same pathway whenever it comes to advantages. There were just too many for them to be able to create a very honest game. So I'm hoping that hourglass thing is just kind of like donezo, at least at the bare minimum. And maybe they can do something to kind of polish up Shot in the Dark. But yeah, I really enjoyed the season. It was fabulous.
Yeah, I think if you look, like, I know, like, one thing everyone's been saying is like best newbie cast season. It's definitely up there, but like you give the season a couple years, and I really could see people putting it like in that like 9 to 13 range is like best seasons. I mean, because when David Goliath first aired, it kind of fell under that, where it was like, oh, this is one of the best newbie seasons ever. But then like no one was really putting it as like best season. But now that like 5 years have passed, David and Goliath is on a lot of people's top 10 all-time seasons. So like it's kind of hard to put a season, like especially like a newbie season, in top 10 all time so early after it happens. But I think we had a satisfying winner. I think we had, one thing that I like to judge seasons is like obviously the winner will always have an arc. But like, were there arcs of like losers? I mean, I hate to say losers, but were there arcs of the people who didn't win, the runner-ups? And like, I feel like Romeo kind of had like this interesting arc where he went from like, like one of the top dogs of the season to just like super paranoid to non-existent to having like an oddly strong finish. I feel like multiple people on the season had like a good arc, and also people who had arcs who were like are uncompleted that I feel like could come back and complete that, like Tori. I feel like kind of has like an uncompleted arc, but not in a disappointing way, in a way that's like, oh, if she came back, I think her arc could be finished. But I do want them to start maybe bringing some new challenges in there, something we didn't really mention too much. I do know that COVID, they couldn't build new challenges for this season because of COVID. I know that was like a thing. But I wanted to ask you guys maybe one last question. Now that we have 2 26-day seasons, do we want it to go back to 39? Is it like I prefer 39, but I also don't really care that much? Where's everyone at? That's where I'm at.
I prefer 26, honestly. I think that like I've been listening to a lot of different interviews from other players and castaways, and while they're a little bit like butthurt that they had to go 39 days when other players have to do 26, they actually thought that they're like, well, like you don't really notice a difference with the filming, but like there's so much time that goes by where we just kind of sit there and lay there, and like there's not a lot of gameplay that happens. But whenever they expedite it, it really promotes like more impulse-based thinking and quick strategizing. So I think that it left more room for more jaw-dropping moments. And I think that we saw a lot more of that in 42 than we have in any other recent Survivor seasons.
With me, I'm one of the ones that I don't care. I know there's a lot of people that are like gung-ho about 39 because that's what real Survivor is. And it's like, well, yeah, but to an audience, it's not like we're being shown anything different than when we were getting 39-day seasons. Like we're getting pretty much the same product, and if anything, especially with 42, it seems like these people's gameplay is more up there because they only have a limited amount of time to strategize. And the thing I compare it to is the NFL. In a football season, if you're playing on the road, you get there around Thursday, Friday to play on Sunday. You don't get there Monday and just, I almost said something, but sit around for a few days and then prepare to get to Sunday. You get there Thursday, Friday, prep, and then play. And I feel like it's the same thing with 26 days as compared to 39, where it's like, if you go there and play for 39 days, cool, you're playing, you're in the stuff, all of that. But like Emily said, there is a lot of time where you're just kind of sitting there. And as much as you want to strategize and socialize, you can only do so much when you're around the same people all the time for 39 days. You can only hear everyone's sob stories or whatever over and over again before you get tired of it over 39 days. With 26 days, it's still a lot, but it gives more time to just like, let's sit here, let's strategize, let me listen to your sob story, let me cry to you and all of that. And by the time this is all over, we've got a whole extra 2 weeks as compared to these other J-Brones 40 and before. No offense to any J-Brones listening from 40 and before. So I don't mind 26. What annoys me are the fans that are like, no offense to any of the two of you if you go on this rant, the fans that are like, it's not real Survivor until it's 39. It's like, well, that's not true because Australian Outback was 42 days, and I haven't seen any other season go 42 days since then. So, sorry.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Good job.
Gideon, do you have a preference?
I preferred 39 just because I would like to see Jonathan starve for an extra 13 days. But I'm okay with 26. I don't really notice a difference. It's just, I think it's just like, just because all my life I've had 39 days, blah, 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 one Survivor. But Jeff doesn't even say that. Jeff doesn't even say that anymore. So
yeah,
I really don't care. I just had a preference to 39. But if seasons are going to be like they are in 42, then keep it up because whatever you're doing is working.
Yeah.
I have one other question. It's not relevant really. But like the big complaint is like they haven't played the Ancient Voices song for 41 or 42 for the opening credits, and that song usually would get me to punch through a wall.
Few seasons since they did that.
Really? Okay, so do we just think that this isn't happening again? Is it just like not going to come back? Yes, it's a bop. It's a bop.
Let me tell you how much of a bop it's not anymore. And it's a bop to me. It's a bop to the real fans. I host trivia, and my Final Jeopardy question every week is I play a clip from a movie, a clip from a TV show, or a TV show theme song. Most recently, someone picked TV show theme song, and I was like, all right, I'll just throw you a fastball down the middle. I'll play the Survivor theme song and just hope that everyone gets it right. Everyone got it wrong because it's mostly, college sophomores, juniors, and seniors.
That's the saddest thing I've ever heard in my life.
And it was very sad. I was very hurt by it. So I don't think that it's a bop necessarily anymore to these kids.
Is it not coming back? Oh my God. I gotta write a letter.
The only way I think it would come back maybe is if we do have like a Legends season. Because I feel like that season would be centered around like the throwback. I feel like that would be the theme. Or because when's the last season we've had it?
I believe 33 or 34.
What? Did I really miss it for the last 7 seasons? Oh my God.
Yeah. All right, we've had 2 seasons now, and Ryan wants to know, what is the monster?
The monster is the friends we made along the way. So y'all.
The monster is Jeff's hair.
I think the monster is the squid on the season 43 logo.
I think it's Jonathan.
It's Jonathan when he's hangry.
It's Jonathan when he's had 17 eggs.
Instead of 18.
The monster
community. The monster is the monster is the Facebook community.
Facebook moms.
Facebook moms are
Facebook moms. Cool. All right. Well, this was a fun recap. We didn't go as long as Marianne's RHAP post-game deep dive. In fact, don't even know if we hit a fourth or a fifth of the length of that thing, but maybe a fifth. Maybe we hit a fifth. So this is part 1 of 5. This is part 1 of 5. We'll be back every day this week at 8 p.m. Eastern. Yes, but thanks everyone who watched. Leave a comment down below what you thought of Survivor 42. What's some stuff you want to see them get rid of? Maybe some stuff that you actually liked that you'd want them to bring back. Of course, please like this video and subscribe. Emily and Coach Drew host Survivor Hot Takes. Do you guys got any stuff coming up?
Kick it, Drew.
All right. Well, we're doing a deep dive into the org/LRG community. Probably do about a 5-episode type story arc like we did last summer with the A Win is a Win segment. We're going to do a couple of other fun things that we're kind of trying to go over right now. We're going to be appearing on a couple of other people's podcasts outside of Survivor Buffs. And like I keep shilling over the last year, 42 and 42, mathematically, it should be starting around early to mid-July and going until the end of August. So I'm really looking forward to that. We're lining up guests per season, and it's kind of going from there. But I'm hoping, although I have a
we need a guest for All Stars. You have my number.
Become an All Stars, and then I'll just stare at you through the Jenna, the Sue, and what other episode? The Jenna, the Sue, and there's one other episode. I'll stare at you guys for the entire 16 episodes.
You'll love it. Also,
all about how you love this season.
It's a great season. There's romance. There's bliss. It's amazing. Yeah. And Drew, aren't you coming? Like, are you going to come up and see me in Pittsburgh? Aren't we going to do like a podcast together at one point?
I'm going to come down and see you.
I don't geography. Who cares? So you'll be there. You'll be at my apartment at some point, right? We can do. We'll do a podcast together, which is exciting.
Yeah, we'll do it there. Just much like Gideon and Adam did the one surprise episode y'all did. The first time y'all did it. I don't remember what episode it was. Were y'all end up in the same hotel? I don't remember what episode it was, but
it was like a 41 recap. Yeah.
Hey, I'll be in Pittsburgh last week of June, first week of July. So
are we all hanging out? Right.
Maybe I'll hang with you guys, and the last week of August. But
this is so exciting.
And if you guys don't know what Drew means by 42 and 42, it is what you're thinking. He is watching 42 seasons in how many days?
42 days.
42 days. Okay, I just want to make sure. Yes, Gideon. You want to tell me what we have coming up this summer?
Well, the cast assessment for 43 is going to come out when, Adam? Soon. Very soon.
Soon. This week.
Soon.
Early this week.
Yep, coming out this week, where we stalk players on Instagram, which seems to be our hottest thing for some reason. People love seeing me and Adam go through, people's Instagrams and guessing how they'll do in the games.
We're thinking of doing it with non-survivors and just finding random people and just... No. And then we'll do another cast assessment when the official cast gets released.
Yes.
When we have interviews and stuff. Post-game interviews, we've had 12 of the 18 commit to an interview. Hopefully we get that exact number, but if we get at least half, that would be cool. Then we had 8 last season, so if we could top that by at least 1, that'd be cool. Hopefully we get the winner this season. I know Marianne watches the show, so hopefully she'll come on and we can talk to the winner and try to find questions that Rob didn't ask her during that 6-hour interview. I know a lot were thrown her way, but and hopefully maybe do some more. Maybe we'll get some season 41 people that we didn't get a chance to do this last season, get some other past contestants. Either way, lots of fun stuff this summer. Maybe we'll do some more tier ranks and whatnot. But either way, well, please, again, like this video, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of it. Drew, Gideon, Emily, thanks so much for chatting season 42 with me. We'll have to do this again for 43 and beyond.
Can't wait. Absolutely.